You how to put yourself into a hot air balloon. So this is part 3 of our hot air balloon tutorial. So I have my hot air balloon that I made in my last video. I have a picture of myself. I need to be kind of small with my hands in the front like this so that I'm kind of peering out of my basket. I'm gonna need some brown paper. That's gonna be for the basket. And I'm going to need some string or some yarn. And I'll need a glue stick and a glue bottle and a scissor, of course. So I have all those things. I also need a black permanent marker. So that's all of our supplies. The first thing we're going to start out with is doing something called drawing the contour. So I've given you guys all a picture of you, and what you're going to be doing is tracing you. You want to leave almost like a little bit of space. So you're going to go kind of right up to your line, but it's okay if you leave a little bit of space between the Sharpie line and your black line. I just want to show you where we're at so far. So this part, it's very important that you go nice and slow. So now what I'm going to do is trace my hands. And this is called a contour, which is the line around an object. All right. Now I'm not going to be cutting the bottom of my body. I'm just going to be cutting my head from my hands, and I'm just cutting exactly on my line. So I'm drawing the line first. And if you're at home, this is the perfect skill and concept for students who are, I would say, first grade to third grade. This is a perfect time to really hone in on this skill. So I just want to show you my line. So there it is. That's my contour line. I drew it around my head, my arms, and my hands, but the rest I'm going to leave blank. So now I'm going to be cutting out my picture, but the best thing to do first is to actually, this is going to seem a little strange, but I'm going to cut around the shape first. I'm just going to cut around the whole thing, just so I don't have all this extra. I feel like it just makes my life easier if I'm working with a smaller shape to start with. Okay, and now what I'm going to do is cut so slowly on my contour line. And I want to go slow because I want to make sure that I'm cutting accurately. I want to make sure I'm staying on my line. All right, because one little slip up equals us needing to probably print a new picture. So we don't want to have to do that. All right, take your time. You have so much time. And you're cutting exactly on your black line. And do you see how I'm moving the picture in my hand as I'm cutting? So that's a good way to get around all the little curvy parts, is just by actually moving it. I'm going to throw away my scraps. So now I have, this is Jose. This is Jose. There he is. You see him? Say hi, Jose. Okay. So there he is. So next thing I want to do is I want to actually make my basket. So he's going to be sitting on the basket. Okay. Now, I think what I'll do first is on my brown sheet of paper, I'm going to draw. And the shape is going to be kind of like a bucket shape. And what I'm going to do, usually a basket looks kind of woven or has lines like this, right? Something like this. Could be different if you want yours to be a little different. But right now, it kind of looks like a laundry basket or a waste basket. That's what we're actually going for. And you probably want it to be larger than you think. I'm going to go ahead and cut this out. I bet you guys can tell where I'm going with all this. All right. So I've got that. I've got Jose. And I've got my balloon. So now I have to find a way to fit all this in my picture. It's possible that my balloon's going to be sticking out of the top of my picture, so it does. I just want to show you that. It's okay. All right? It's really all right. So it's going to be something like this. I'm going to start to glue it. Now, I want you to see how I'm going to place Jose's hand. So I'm going to take this out of the way. And what I'm going to do first is I'm going to move him out of the way. I'm going to glue my basket to the bottom. So noticing how before I glued anything, I arranged my picture because I need to know where things are going to go. So I go ahead, I paste on the bottom just like this, and I'm going to have this touch the bottom of my page and be in the center. So you see it's touching the bottom and it's in the center. So now I'm going to go and put some paste on the back of Jose. And I want to show you how I'm going to place him. I'm going to place him so his arms are hanging over the basket. So it's like he's holding onto the basket. Do you see that? I know you guys all thought it was a little strange when I told you to have your hands like this, right? When I took your pictures. Now you understand why, right? So now I'm going to glue in my basket. And I don't think my whole basket's going to fit in the page. That's okay. So my students in class, we're doing this on our Artime paper. It's okay if it goes above the line on your paper. Don't worry about it. What's going to happen is when they frame these pictures, it's going to be cropped out of the picture. You won't see that part that's sticking out of the top, all right? So here's something I can do. I can actually lift up Jose's head. I know I glued it down already, but I'm seeing that it might be better if this goes a little bit behind. Yeah, I could fit more of the balloon in if I do that. So did you see what I did? I lifted up his head a little bit so I could fit the balloon in there. All right. And we're really up to our last step. So this balloon has to get connected to the basket. And we're going to be doing that with some string, some yarn. And I'm just kind of approximating. I think I'll cut out a few pieces of yarn. I think I'll do like 4. Seems weird, but that's okay. All right, so now I'm going to use my glue. I only want to use a little bit of the glue. So with this glue, it's just a dot, not a lot. You want to squeeze really light, okay? And what we're doing is connecting the balloon. So this is actually where my string is going to go. And if my string's too long, I'll trim it. And I think I'll put a little piece behind him here and a behind him here. So I definitely am going to have to trim my string a little bit. I think 4 is kind of like the magic number. All right, this should be good. Looks like I have to trim it. I'm going to make all the parts that I have to trim be up here by his head, okay? I do that on purpose. This way when I trim, I could just kind of trim it across the top. All right, I'm going to put this here. His shoulder covers some of it. That's why you don't see the rest. Okay, same thing here. And here we are. I just go and I place it. Gonna just give it a little baby trim. So to trim it, I'm just gonna peel it. And we go 2, 3, and 4. And there you go. Now, one thing I really would like for you to do is to use a marker and write your name in your picture, okay? So you're going to put your name somewhere, maybe on the bottom right, and just write your name. Jose. And it's good to write the year. The year is 2024. I know it's a little bit dark to see it on here. I'm going to put it underneath. And there you have it. Makes a nice little keepsake. So my class is going to be using these pictures for our Artime fundraiser. So these are all going to be framed and matted. They're going to look so beautiful when it's all said and done. Yeah. So these make perfect little keepsakes. And what makes them so great is it's a picture of you in your picture. So it's just a great memory. It's a great time. You'll look back at this and you'll say, oh, look at me. I was so cute. All right, you guys. See you next time.